Hello and welcome to another episode of PopCulture Reacts. And today I am bringing one of UK's most cult bands of the last 20 years or so. They're one of those bands that if you know them, a
If you
lot of
know
people
them, you
fucking
love
love
them.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
It is the Wildhearts, and we're going with The Revolution Will Be Televised. A band that I have seen loads of times. Like whenever they come to Norwich, I'll go and see them because they're usually in the waterfront. It's 5 minutes away from my house, and it's always a good night.
Yeah, I think there's something in that, isn't there? We said like people who love them, but I feel like they've carried on doing it the way they've been doing it because they love it as well, and that kind of connectivity with their fan base really is what kind of probably keeps it fun. And probably never had maybe the success that maybe that intense fandom that does love them deserves. You know,
Yeah,
they're probably not million gazillionaires, but they
really,
probably are.
really not.
But they probably are in the hearts of some people, aren't they?
Yeah,
That the connections that they've made are so strong that it's a shame, I guess, that they're not probably going to be able to uh, live a life of luxury outside of that. But you know, an advert for I don't know, doing it because you love it rather than because of the monetization of it, I guess.
yes. So, shall we televise this revolution?
Yes, and obviously oft used terminology. So let's see what a revolution looks like. Let's go.
Picture the dying coronation.
Standing at the edge of the world, there's chaos in the city as the capital burns, and I'm standing at the gates of the west, where the doors open wide with American Express, and I'm standing in my back to the wall, and the silence in my head and every day before I come fall. I'm standing on the edge of the town, looking up in the hole, someone's looking back down. I'm standing at the edge of the world, there's chaos in the city as the capital burns out. I'm standing at the gates of the west, where the doors open wide for the fashion of leaders and out. I'm standing here looking at you. I'm looking back on me, or is there something I can do?
So, Mr. Seddon, what
I
did you
wasn't
think?
sure. I wasn't sure whether the sirens were at the end of that video or whether the police were coming. The popo were coming for you. Then
Definitely
I
my
really
end.
like it. I really like it. Like one the big standout for me is the constant tempo changes, and like the the shortness between those tempo changes. Really, I find was quite capturing and captivating
Mm,
for the song. And we said this before on other bands when maybe the songs have had even different styles that they go into, but with this, much staying in the same style, it made me want the tempo that had just gone really badly to come back while still enjoying the tempo that I was in. And then when that tempo went, wanting that back
yeah,
and that throughout the song until we kind of get to the end, which is probably about the last minute or so, which I think it then does more so like morph into the end part of the song, which is much more anthem-esque.
yeah,
You know, it really is kind of, it builds to that anthem crescendo at the end. Yeah, really liked it. And that's even just from the musical side, like vocally and lyrically. I guess we'll pick up in a minute,
yeah,
but yeah, the music really stood out for me as something that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and when yeah, they have created a really good song here.
yeah. It's this thing with the Wild Hearts as a whole. They get the metalheads because they're heavy. They get the punks because they've got that sort of punky sort of edge to them at times.
Yeah,
And lyrically, they're very very left lyrics and stuff in a lot of
yeah,
bits. The rock, people that like you heavy indie stuff like them from back in the day because they were that sort of heavy indie adjacent at the time in like the 90s when they started.
yeah.
Yeah, they are one of those catch-all bands
And you say
that
that about that catch all, like I think they've got a very, you know, when you said about the punky stuff, I think they've got a very UK sound, but without being so UK that you wouldn't want to listen to them outside of UK. So,
yeah,
yeah, I think UK punky stuff coming through and all of them, but then kind of building up to what I would consider maybe even a bit more like US stadium rocky as the song builds and things like that. Yeah,
yeah,
really smart. And I say really smart songwriting. I mean, like, you know, sometimes they smart like might just be like naturally the stuff they wanted to do, but I think yeah, from a song construct perspective, I think they it almost feels a little bit catch-all, but without being uh, craply twee trying to catch all, just
yeah,
naturally catching all.
yeah. It hits enough bases for people that like different sorts of shit to go.
Yeah, to be pulled in.
This is
Yeah,
us.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and the thing that I love with them vocally as well, though, is they will always have that co-harmony between Ginger and CJ.
yeah,
Um, and that's a fucking massive thing for like the whole of their sound for pretty much most of their stuff. That there's either they'll either play off each other or they complement each other and all the time, and it just for two very different singers, they just meld so well together. And yeah, I just
there's some there's some
can't.
brilliant lyrics in here as well, aren't there? I mean, I
Yeah,
know you sort of said that kind of left leaning, which obviously we are right wing. No, we're not. We're left leaning. Like things like pledging your millions off a TV screen while the shit on your doorstep remains uncleaned. It's just great. It's great lyrically, isn't it?
yeah.
And I think I'll dive into the lyrics a lot more post this because um, yeah, I was the music was off distracting me from it because I really really liked it, but I was trying to kind of read the lyrics at the same time, and it would just say snippets here and there. Where I just go, wow, that's not only a lyric that leans to my political proclivities, but that's written really smartly as well. Really interesting way of kind of getting their viewpoint across. Yeah, big fan, big fan.
So the fact I know you now like this, there are a couple of songs from their last album which you need to hear lyrically, just because you will fucking be all about it. But this is my sort of toe in the water of like, let's see what you think to this.
Sign me up. Sign me up. Get me a Wildhearts t-shirt, and I'll be following around the country like a stalker, like within a heartbeat. No, no, like yeah, definitely bring more. We'll quite happily listen to a lot more of these if this is anything to go by.
Yes. So you lot out there, let us know down there. See
You specifically,
if if
you
you've
know who
got
you are.
any Wild Heart songs you want to get in the rotation quicker, get them down there, and they will be. Um, as always, YouTube your things of like, subscribing, and ringing bells. But until next time, remember, you live and die on your government loan. Goodbye.